Hey everyone, good day. So for the continuation of our motor system of human being, part 1 and then this is part 2 now. We have the pyramidal tracks. Now as you can see the figure, now it forms like a pyramid. So here in pyramidal tracks, there is what we call as corticospinal tract. There is an axon from cortex to the spinal cord, and its origin is we have the primary motor cortex number 4, which is 30%, and then we have the premotor area, which is 30%, and it's also with the somatosensory area, 40%. During the course and termination, this is from cortex, it will descend as a part of the corona radiata. Post-lean, if internal capsule, then the brain stem will form a pyramid in medulla. Then after that, it will cross and form to the tracts, which is what we call as the lateral corticospinal tract, and we have the anterior tract. Now, what is this lateral corticospinal tract? This is 80% of fibers that will cross into the opposite side. The fibers will descend, it will terminate on internodontial neurons, or we call that as the ventral horn cells, that will form into the what we call as the unilateral medial neurons, from ventral horn cells to skeletal muscles to the lateral medial neuron. This anterior corticospinal tract is 20%. 20% of uncrossed pyramidal fibers, and then it will descend in the what we call as anterior white funiculus only up to the mid-thoracic region. Then from that point in the spinal cord, it will crosses to the opposite side, and then it will terminate on ventral horn cells. Thus, the cortex on one side, it will connect to ventral horn cells onto the opposite side. As you can see in the figure, now there is what we call as descending, now corticospinal pyramidal motor tracts. So meaning from up and then going down. Now, what are the salient features? We have the fibers are unmyelinated at birth. Myelination begins in the second postnatal week and completed by 2 years. 80% or small and 20% large diameter, there is large fibers that will disappear at old age, and then it will causes the automatic shaking movements. So if you can see, all people now suffering from pyramidal tracts impairment, their movements is shaky, their movements is somewhat like they are shaking. Now, what are the functions? Now, it will control the voluntary fine scaled movements. So as you can see this figure, closely, it is packed with internal capsule and brain stem, so small lesion causes wide paralysis. So in the part of this internal capsule of the brain, if there will be a small lesion, now it will cause paralysis. Then after that one, it will send collateral to basal ganglia, cerebellum for coordination. Extrapyramidal tracts, now the remaining tracts other than the pyramidal is we have the number 1, the roborospinal tracts. Second, we have the vestibulospinal tract. Third, reticulospinal tract. We have fourth, the tectospinal tract. We have the olivospinal tract, and we have the medial longitudinal fasciculus. Now, what is this roborospinal tract? When we are going to discuss this tract, now we are going to find out the origin, its course, the termination, and then what's the function of this tract. The origin of this roborospinal tract is it came from the red nucleus of the midbrain. Then the course is from red nucleus, it will crosses to the opposite side and lower part of the tegmentum, and it will descend same as lateral corticospinal tract. The termination is in the interneurons only up to upper and the third cervical segments of the cord. The function of this RT or rubrospinal tract is it will facilitate the effect on flexors and the inhibitory effects on the extensors. The next tract is we have the vestibulospinal tract or the lateral vestibulospinal tract. Its origin is from the lateral vestibular neuron, and then the course of action is it will uncross in an end pedunculus of the spinal cord. The termination now from ventral gray horn neurons through interneurons, and then it will go to the neurons of the lamina number 9. The function of this VT is it will receive from vestibular apparatus. It facilitates the extensor, it will inhibit the flexors and maintain the balance, linear balance. Next is we have the MVT, the medial vestibulospinal tract. Its origin is from the medial vestibular nucleus, and then it will course the uncross into the what we call as the funiculus. The termination is from the anterior motor neurons of the non-shell neurons of the cervical segment. The function of this is it will take the afferent from the circular canal of vestibular apparatus. So to medial longitudinal homunculus it will control the movements of the head, the neck, the eyes in response to visual and the hearing or auditory. Now, the next is we have the reticulospinal tract or the medial reticulospinal tract. Its origin is from the medial pontine reticular formation. The course is from descend and cross into the anterior funiculus, while the termination is from the lamina number 7 to number 8, and through it will enter to the neurons of lamina number 9. The next is we have the LRT, the lateral reticulospinal tract. Its origin is from the medullary reticular formation. As you can see the figure, now we have this uncrossed in lateral funiculus, while the termination is the internuncial neurons to the lamina number 7, number 8, and number 9. The function of this LRT is it will control the movements and the muscle tone. The next is we have the TT, the tictospinal tract. Its origin is it is from superior collicula, and the course of action is from the crus midline in the lower part of the tegmentum and descend into the anterior white funiculus. The termination is from the upper cervical segment to internuncial neurons of the lamina number 5 and number 7. The function of this TT is for turning the head, and moving the arm in response to what you see, what you hear, and then it is exteroreceptive stimuli. We have the last one, the OT, the olivospinal tract. Its origin is from the inferior olivary nucleus, and the course and termination, it will descend the ipsilaterally on the anterior horn cells. The function of this OT is for the movements arising from the proprioceptors. So we have what we call as the MLF, the medial longitudinal fasciculus. Its origin is from the various nuclei vestibular. Okay? And then the course of action closely related to the 3, 4, 6, 7, and 12 cranial nerves. Okay? We have the 1 up to 12 cranial nerves, particularly 3, 4, 6, 7, and 12, the MLF. While the termination is from the ventral horn cells that innervate the neck muscles. The function of this is for the simultaneous movements of the eye and neck to vestibular and auditory stimulus. Now let us go to the what we call as descending tracts ending in the brainstem. Now from here, now descending up to the brainstem, we have the corticonuclear tracts, we have the corticopontocerebellar tracts, we have the cortico-rubral, the olivary, reticular, and all forms of the extrapyramidal system. Now, in the motor system, remember that any malfunction of the subsystem will be impairment of the whole system. That is how it works now regarding this motor system as part of the central nervous system. Thank you.